Hello, and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Before we get started today, I want to give a shout out to that bearded voiceover man who keeps playing his commercials in front of my YouTube videos. Thank you, bearded voiceover man, for playing your commercial before my videos. Also, I'd like to give out a shout out to the AI robotic people who keep putting their commercials and their little tabs to sell text-to-speech voiceovers in front of my videos. Thank you all very much. This has been a PSA. All right, let's move into today's topic. I had to, okay, come on. If you watch my videos, you know they got those people who are that bearded dude is that bearded. Have you ever thought about using your voice to make a voiceover? I watch them. And the reason I want to give him a shout out is because I think it's actually pretty cool that, he is piggybacking off of someone else's work. You know me, I'm a big advocate of using other people's money, other people's time, to be able to promote and leverage your business. I just think it's funny that every time I turn on one of my videos, I see that bearded voiceover guy. So anyways, and then, of course, I can handle that, but the robot people, come on. Any hoosers, let's dive in today. Let's talk today. Actually, I got myself off topic. Let's talk today actually about how to generate income in voiceover. I've been getting this question actually a couple times recently, and I thought this would be a good topic to discuss, because many people just coming into the business, or you've been in for a little while and you're really just struggling making money. Like, how do I make money? I mean, I could buy things till the cows come home. Anthony, you got all these courses, there's all kinds of stuff we can buy, but we want to generate some actual income here. So I want to actually talk to you today about what you need to focus on. And here's the thing. That's the first big thing. Focus. And you might be like, well, okay, what kind of secret is that? It's a big one. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there are so many things that you can get distracted by in this business. You can get distracted by social media. You get distracted by videos. You get distracted by trying to figure out, with your DAW. You get distracted by the cool thing that you could do with your pitch modulation and your voice. We all get distracted by different things. But the point is that there are a million and one things that you can get distracted by. You can get distracted by setting up your business entity. You can get distracted by dealing with taxes. Now, I'm not saying you don't do these things. I'm just saying that there's so many things that we have to do when we run a business, but a lot of those things are necessary evils for us to run a business, but they're not the main things we should be focusing on daily. We should be putting 80% of our time daily on specifically getting business, and 20% of the time doing all that other stuff I just mentioned. Most of the people I work with, by not realizing it or whatever, usually flip that. Usually 20% of their time is dedicated towards getting business, and 80% of their time is dedicated to doing all that other stuff, right? Trying to figure out how to do something different with their DAW, or they're having some sort of, they're researching equipment and doing all kinds of other stuff other than getting business. So let's talk about a couple things you can do to actually get business and what you need to focus on. It was interesting. I was just in a coaching session before this a little bit ago. And, we were talking about, I was kind of talking about what I did when I first started. And, before I started my podcast, which was in the beginning of 2018 is when I started my podcast, the VO's Journey podcast. which you can still check out, and there'll be a link below to check out the podcast. We're almost at 200 episodes. I just did 194 yesterday. Anyways, I digress. So I was talking about the fact that it was almost a year before I did anything other than literally audiobooks. Like, all I did every single night was I'd go to work, I'd get home, spend a few hours with my family, and then I would spend 4 to 5 hours every night putting up my hobo fort, what I called my packing blankets and booth, and my PVC pipe, and I would record auditions, at least 10 a night auditions on ACX. And then I would record the audiobooks I had to work on that people had hired me, and take all my stuff down, go to bed, get up in a couple hours, and do it all over again. And I did this for like 2 years straight. And for the first year, all I really did was audiobooks. I did a little bit of character work here or there on Fiverr, but I did audiobooks. That was it. And I was known as like the audiobook guy because that's all I was doing. But here's the thing. I was always working. Now, like I was making fun of myself earlier, saying that no one ever asked me how much I was making, all right, money-wise. But that wasn't the point at the time. The point at the time for me was that people were hiring me to work, and I was constantly working. Sure, a lot of it was for royalty share, so it was paid on the back end. Like, I'm making money every month now from what I did, 3 years ago. But at the time, it was more about me just working. So there was never a time. Honestly, very rarely there was a time where I didn't have work. I was always working, okay? And I didn't care how much it was. Like, I was just working. I just wanted to work and have business. And that was my goal constantly. And I actually ignored probably a lot of that other stuff I mentioned to you. Because all I did was audition, put up stuff on, and then as the year progressed towards the end, I started putting more stuff up on Fiverr. I started doing stuff in Voice Bunny, which is Bunny Studios. I started auditioning a lot more in Voice Bunny, which gave me some great practice on commercial work. And, it was because I'd never done commercial work before, and I thought I'd never do commercial work. But the point is that first year of my voiceover career, I made like $800 total. That's it. I made $800. But I worked nonstop. Trust me, I spent way more than $800 on equipment and everything like that. But man, I worked. It was like I worked. I had work. I published work on Amazon. I done voiceovers. I did them constantly. And then the second year, I saw a drastic leap. All right, up to like $20,000. So I did $20,000 my first real year on Fiverr. All right, after I'd spent all that time working audiobooks. All right, then that's why I published my first course on how to make $20,000 on Fiverr, because I spent that year focusing as hard as I could on Fiverr. I said, I'm going to go all in and focus on Fiverr. Where other people were like, oh my gosh, don't focus on Fiverr. How could you do that? You know what I mean? And I just was like, I'm just going to do it. why not? So many people are making so much money. I mean, they came out with these things with people making 6 figures on Fiverr, right? And I'm like, well, I want a piece of that action. So I built out Fiverr. I spent that year doing that and the audiobooks. All right, $20,000. That's a lot of money, but it wasn't money that was going to get me out of my job or anything. It wasn't until my third year where I jumped up to over 6 figures. And I tell you that because now 4 years, double that again. So it's because of the focusing on specific working, specifically working, getting work, not just all the other stuff. So the point to all this, and I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time saying, go to point A, go to point B. I've got tons of videos for that, and I'll continue to do more. But it's more about you focusing on one place, 2 places, and you dive in with everything. You go and see how far that rabbit hole goes, right? That's the only way you're going to really grow your business. And it will take time, but here's the thing. When it grows, it grows. That snowball effect, it is incredible. A lot of times people quit right before the treasure. We've seen that little picture of those 2 guys, mining away, and the one guy stops right before the treasure. right? And the other guy keeps going and he makes it to the treasure. But the other guy's like literally a couple inches from it, but he just quits. All right? Don't stop, but focus on working, getting work. All the other stuff is a necessary evil. You have to do it, but it should not be what takes up the majority of your time. It should be 80% auditioning, putting up gigs, trying to get work, and then 20% doing all those other little things. And if you catch yourself getting caught up in all the little minutia work, you stop and get back to doing what you're supposed to do, which is finding work. All right, you guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Please go ahead and click the like, subscribe button. Again, my my hat off to the bearded voiceover man and the AI who is stealing some of my thunder. But that's okay. I wish you all the best. And thank you all for watching as always. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.